My name is Tom. I am one of the instructors at 100 Unit Club and also the managing director of the 100 Unit Club Private Investment Fund. I wanted to make a quick video. A lot of our members that uh, have expressed to me that, hey, they asked me if I can make a non-member video that we can share with friends and family regarding this whole stimulus package for small business people, uh, small business, uh, small businesses, I should say, and how and show them how to take advantage of the 10K grant that's currently available right now. Um, so uh, I said, sure. So that's what I'm doing right now for everyone. So this is can be shareable. Our members um, have already done this loan application. Let's call it the grant application for 10 grand. Uh, right around 12 hours after it came out on the 27th. So obviously we were pretty fortunate in getting the applications in as soon as possible. This is really time sensitive, so this is why I'm doing kind of a one cut take. So apologies for any ums or, we're not going to do the normal kind of graphics that we would normally do on videos and things like that. This is a straight through cut to just get the information out there because it is time sensitive, okay? And it's time sensitive for the fact that we're talking about the what we call the economic disaster injury disaster loan. Okay, it is a $10 billion kind of program that was introduced, and you can get a $10,000 grant from that. So if you do the simple math on that, $10 billion, $10,000 grants, that's a million businesses. So you can imagine when we first started doing our applications, the site was like really bogged down, and we weren't able to get in through the automated process. So we actually went through and did the long form, which is the normally how when you do a grant, business loan application, so on. So what I'm going to do is they've updated it as of Sunday night, and I'm going to just really quickly walk you through how to fill out that application, okay? So you can get your name on the list, and hopefully, cross your fingers, you get first come, first serve to get that grant money because I mean, hey, that's what whole the 100 unit club is all about. That's why we have members that are always interested in what we're doing and being a part of what we do because we teach our members how to basically generate money, syndicate money, how to go through that whole process. That's what we've been doing. That's what I've done literally in my entire professional career is raise money, find money, things like that. And grants is one way to do that. If it were a normal market, just so you know, the other ways we would do this kind of process is through things called brownfields or TIFs, um, tax incremental financing, or CRPs. These are other ways that you can get grant money, and that's why. Listen, what we're going to show you is not a. I'm not giving you tax advice. I'm not giving you accounting advice. You still want to talk to your accountant about it. Tell them what you're doing. You're still going to have to ask them questions if, in the event they come back and ask for more info. You're going to need some info from. I'm just telling you that we have done grant filings and we've worked with the government before, so we're just familiar with processes. This process is entirely different. We can't say we know how this one's really going to work because okay, here's the thing. When you apply for an SBA loan normally, Small Business Administration loan, it's collateralized. And also, um, they wouldn't give you the coverage on it is really low. I mean, you're looking at maybe a 50% LTV. Okay, so who does it apply to? It applies to all 50 states. It applies to small businesses, independent sole proprietors. Okay, so that includes even that could technically include artists. If you're an artist that goes out and you do things you can't do your work, this technically could apply to you. So this is what's crazy about it. So think about the fact that, okay, you're going to get a stimulus check for 1,200. This is another kind of stimulus check that you're getting for 10 grand. So um, this is crazy. Is amazing for those that know about it, and this is why our members knew about it. That's part of the value of becoming a part of our investment club is you get this kind of info. Okay, so what is a loan can be used for? Just like what it says here, it's used to pay fixed debts, payroll, account payable bills, and other bills that could have been paid that is not paid due to this disaster. Okay, so that means your mortgage, your rent, your cell phone, things like that that apply to your business and for you to function. This is amazing. Now, here's the thing. They say it's a loan. Okay, now what does that mean? So what they're going to do is uh, they're giving you a quote unquote loan. Okay, non-collateralized loan. All right, 10,000 of that loan is forgivable, meaning you do not have to pay that loan back for whatever reason. Okay, it is your money to do what you need to. Now, if you want, and they come back and say, hey, we can give you a $30,000 loan, if that's what they deem, then you can not have to pay 10,000 of that and take a loan for 20,000, let's say. And what that means is their loan current rates is 3.75 for 30 years. So that's, I mean, it's still not a bad loan. So it's something you could consider. That they can go all the way up to 2 million depending on your balance sheet. But ultimately, um, they're giving you a $10,000 grant as a small business if you apply and you can show that it affected you, which you do through a personal, a PFS statement, or it's actually going to be listed here in this additional filing requirements, which we'll go over in a little bit. Okay. So um, I'm going to go through this as quick as I can because it's more important that we go through this top part here just to get the application in. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. Um, and okay, yeah, so let's go ahead and get right into it. All right. So uh, we gave you the link in the post. Okay, so we posted on our Facebook page. You can see that little link that we put in there. It's going to take you directly to this page. When you get to this page, you're just going to click on this right here. Click here for the coronavirus assistance. Okay, so uh, actually what I want to do is I'm going to open that a new tab because I'm going to come back to this page. All right, so basically this is what it looks like. You're going to have these uh, 4 steps. Okay, so here's how it goes. If you're a business, LLC, partnership, corp, you're gonna click on this. If you're a sole proprietor, individual who runs under your social security, like an artist or something like that, this is what you would do. Most of um, our members have operate under LLC. Most of the, actually all, we don't even tell you to do it any other way when you own entities. uh, any of your properties you want to run through an LLC, protects you against tenant lawsuits, things like that. You absolutely want to run under a protected LLC. Of course, you got to talk to your attorneys about that. We have attorneys available. 200 Club unit members. He's great. His name is Patrick. He's awesome. He'll help you kind of get through this stuff. So, anyways, let's go to that application. Okay. Now, all this other stuff's pretty straightforward. Most of it you can answer by just reading it. For example, is your business of lobbying? I don't know, probably not, maybe, I don't know. And then, uh, it's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to spend time going through it. You know how to read. So there you go. Answer those questions. You hit next. Now, business name. Okay, so I'm just going to start filling out some of this with some name, okay? All right. Business name is the name you filed under for your EIN. If you did a DBA, that would be here, okay? Otherwise, you just retype in the same name if you don't have a DBA. Sole proprietors, you just put in your name, okay? If you didn't file a DBA, put in your name, and then you put in your social. If you have EIN, obviously this is where it goes. If you have a social, this is where you put it. Organization. Okay, so sole proprietor would be the same as independent. It says independent. I think they just added this because I did not see it the other day. But uh, we're going under a limited liability company. Technically, if you're a sole member of a limited liability company, it's technically also could be considered sole proprietorship. But anyways, LLC. No nonprofit, not a franchise. Okay, gross sales for your last 2019. Okay, so this is if rent income, this is your gross potential rent income. Okay, this is the information that you would put in here. Okay, cost of goods sold. If you do not have inventory, this technically does not apply to you because this is not asking for your your operating expenses, asking cost of goods sold if you had inventory. We don't have inventory, so we say no. Um, the only field that and this is for our members, the rent property loss, this is where we would type in our potential vacancy or loss of rent income from January, February, March. If we notice the dip starting to happen in January or for sure February, that's where we would type in that loss of rent income here. Okay, not vacancy, but well, you could do vacancy plus rent loss, but that's the line here. These other lines are for your nonprofit. If you're not running a nonprofit, you don't want to fill these things in. Just kind of slow down the process to help you because you have to explain what you're trying to say. The only real thing is for our members, you're filling in rent property here. And if you have inventory, obviously you can put in your cost of inventory here, but obviously we don't. So like I said, these are all optional. You don't need to fill them in. And also if you're not a nonprofit, you see faith-based, you don't need to fill that in. compensation from other sources. This refer to insurance claims, things like that. If you had rent loss insurance, for example, you would put in the rent loss claim you had and then what you did here. Obviously, you don't need to do that. So fill in the other information. Um, okay, so let's see here. Yeah, county, don't forget your county. Um, fill in stuff like this, put in your phone number, you can put in your cell number if you want. All right. Fax. Okay, make sure you put in your email so they have a way of contacting you. However, it's going to feel weird, but you're not going to get any confirmation whether you do this form or upload form. You will not get an email confirmation, so don't worry about it. They'll email you once they receive the application, and then they'll actually reach out to you. This is apparently what they're supposed to do. Okay, so just don't get that confused. All right, this is probably going to be the listed on your EIN or your filing. Um, and so you got to put the date in. Now you got to actually do the whole year, so 2001, not '01. You got to do the whole year. Date of ownership since. Sometimes filing EIN as compared to your corporate filing might be different. So that's, just double check that information. Ask your attorney about that. Okay. Business activity, obviously you choose what you want. We'll do real estate, and then um, we'll put, if we're doing real estate investing, that's really what we're going to select. Okay. Now, you don't count as an employee if you're sole proprietor. Okay. Um, it, and if you're in a corporation and you're on payroll, you're an employee. But if you're in a partnership, you're not an employee. You understand? So don't get that confused. So if you're one owner in your business and you're not on payroll, you're not an employee. This is if you have an employee. So obviously I put 0 if you're one. Okay. Next. Okay, so business owned by entity. So for our members, usually they're going to hit yes here and they're going to put in the entity that they created. So this would be like me LLC, because we teach our members you want to own the LLC with another LLC. Okay, just another way to protect yourself. But more importantly, you can funnel that LLC into multiple LLCs so that you don't have to um, tie your name to all of that all the time. Okay, so normally that's what we tell our members to do, and so that's what this is your LLC owns this LLC. So then you would put the name of, you know, me LLC. It would come with a separate EIN and so on. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to say, oh, this is a one member LLC that I own. So uh, we're just going to fill out this information so I can take you to the next page. Sole proprietors, you can put owner, but obviously you can name yourself whatever you want. 100. If you see, they give you two, you can add in a member if you have two members in an LLC. Obviously, you do the percentages separately. So the emails obviously is probably going to be the same as the one that you put on the other one. And then here's your SOC. Okay. Sole proprietors, your SOC is going to be in two places. It's going to be in the first page that we're just on because you're a sole proprietor, and it's also going to be again here. So then you're going to put your birthday in. Hey, I was born in the thousands. Okay, so something like that. All right, place of birth. Let's say like that. Okay. All right. U.S. citizen. Yes. And then your address. Okay. So like 123 Street. All right. Boom. Okay. If you have another owner, obviously you add that in. All right. Here we go. Next. Okay. Now, same thing here. Very straightforward questions. You can answer them. If you paid someone to help you do this, this is what this is for. Obviously, you don't need to address that. Here's the fun part right here. I would like to be considered for an advance up to 10,000. This is them giving you money up front. This is your grant money. You can actually get it in advance, where you might ultimately be denied for the loan, but from my understanding, they can still give you the grant. That's what's actually kind of crazy about it all. So now you put in your bank info, and let's hope that what this means, because again, this is a new process. This is completely new. We're not gonna lie, this is different. Uh, let's hope that you put in your account number. They're just gonna wire you 10 grand. That would be literally Christmas. And they say it's as fast as 3 days. Honestly, I think it's gonna be more like a week, but whatever. You know, it is best to get your application in. Okay. So once you do that, you hit the checkbox down here. You hit next. It's going to give you a summary of everything you see like this. Um, and then you just confirm everything. And the good thing is, if you were to hit edit, it'll just take you right back to the page, but it's going to store everything. Okay, so you can just be like, oh, I forgot something, hit edit. You can hit next. All the information is still going to be in there. So you don't got to worry about typing it all in. Okay, so you hit next. Now, when you're done, you do the whole catchba thingy. Yeah. Um, and then answer the question and hit submit. I'm not going to submit because it's going to mess, I don't want to mess up their systems because I put fake info. But when you hit submit, the next page, you're just going to see application submitted with a big red thing that says your confirmation number. Okay. And then it's going to say, hey, we have your email file. We'll update you once we received your application, meaning once they filed it. Okay. And that's it. But remember, you will not get an email confirmation, so don't go trying to call them or anything because you just won't. And it's just, you won't. They'll follow up with you. And you'll see that that confirmation count, we've been tracking that count. So 100 unit members, we were getting applications in when there was only maybe less than 5,000 people putting applications in. So we're really grateful for that. And our members are pretty happy about that because obviously it's first come, first serve. Right now, the count's probably close to 40 to 50,000, is literally jumping 10,000 every hour. So uh, I hope that you could get this in really quick and benefit from this stimulus that's happening right now to help people get through this time. Okay, so uh, all right, now that I showed you how to do that, let me just show you I want you, what I should say you should prepare for when they do contact you for more information. You don't be fumbling and you want to make sure you just have everything ready. Okay, so let me actually show you what they're going to ask for. All right, so um, for businesses, okay, what they're going to ask for is they're going to ask for 6 documents. And they may ask for the loan application, the business loan application again, long form. I would just say have these things ready so that you know what is to expect, okay? So this is the long form for the business loan. I'm just going to go through this real quick so you know. You don't need to fill out any of this. This is for the SBA, okay? This is for their internal use, just like this said. You're going to check economic injury here, all right? Um, and then obviously a lot of it is self-explanatory, limited liability entity. Because this is a business, uh, the business application, your legal applicant name is the business name. Okay, don't put your name in. It's for your business because there's a separate line in section 17 that is your name. Okay, so just don't get that confused. If you're doing a DBA, that's what's going here. So remember trade name on the other form, that's what it is. Don't forget your number. Um, don't fill out this, you don't need to fill out this damage 8 and 9 section because that's for damaged property loss. You're not dealing with damaged property, you're dealing with economic injury. That's different. Okay, now way to contact you. Obviously put in your cell number, but make sure you want to actually contact your email. You gotta hit that check mark there, okay? So do that. Type in your business activity. Have it align with what you just filled in, okay? So if you put real estate or whatever, put that in there. Same thing, your date business established, and then current business since. That was on the other form, so just remember that. 15 to 16, this is for insurance claims, unnecessary. You don't need that. Okay, legal name. They give you 2 spaces here. So if you got 2 owners, you can put them here. If they're individual, if the business entity like we were talking about, you put that here, okay? Um, and if you have a partner, they're going to do a separate form for themselves, all right? Because they're affected separately than you. So they're going to fill out their own application, percent ownership here, all right? And mind you, if you take a look at this, only those that own 20% or more need to fill out that information, okay? So that's that. Um, Obviously, answer these questions here. Uh, any joint application of 17. Okay, so this here, again, you just answer the questions. This is regarding indictments and so on. Obviously, you answer that question. This doesn't pertain to you because this is physical damage loan. This is if you hired someone to do it, you don't need to deal with that. So then that's it. You sign it, have it ready. Title, so this would be managing member. It would be if you're an owner, you just put owner. Sole proprietor, you put, sole proprietor has a separate form. I'll go through that in a minute. And then date it, save that document, have it ready for them, okay? The next one that you're going to need is economic disaster supporting loan information. Okay, this is kind of already what they filled out. So yes, your operation year, you're gonna put in your gross sales, and then remember cost of goods sold. If you have inventory, that's what you're putting here. For our rental business, you don't. You just can put in the loss. This was also on the same other form. Remember, you don't have compensation for other losses because, well, you don't have, unless you have rent loss, you would put rent loss claim, you know, and the dollars that you're getting for that. That's what that means. Sign and title, so managing member and so on, and then your date, and you're done. Have that form ready for them as well. Okay, the other three forms that you need: personal financial statement. Okay, right here. These are all PDFs. Again, make sure you put in here. This is as of date, so you'd put in March, like March 30, and then 2020. Okay, and put in that, and then fill out this information here. If you don't know what these are, Google's your best friend. So you fill out all this information. Be mindful of what it says when it says described in section 4, described in section 5. For example, automobile, present value, described in section 5. In section 5, you actually, if you look at it, it says year, make, model. So you just got to make sure you're putting in, auto, and then you would put in the year, make, something like that, okay? So you just want to make sure that you put in that information there, all right? So most of it is pretty straightforward. All your liabilities, this is your credit cards, your debts, your mortgages. You're going to put these things in here, sum them up here, yeah? Net for our investors, net income investment. This is your NOI. This is not your net free cash flow, okay? This is your NOI. And it's not real estate income because you're an investor, all right? So it's not that. This is, my guess is this is commission. Your net investment income is what you're dealing with. Sole proprietors are filling out this form, they put in this number, and they put in self-employment, typing in what they do. All right, so again, see, notes payable as noted here, section 2. Just pay attention to those things. Otherwise, the form is actually pretty straightforward. This is your REO, so properties you own, uh, equity, things like that, okay? Sign it, so don't forget that. You don't have this, you shouldn't have any life insurance held. I mean, I don't think, but I'm saying that shouldn't pertain to you. Save that form, should be ready for them to have that ready for them to go. The next one you're going to need is the schedule of liabilities. Again, this is kind of like just that last page. You're putting in all your creditors, your mortgages, your car payments, if you have them, your credit cards. That's all this is, okay? You're going to put the business name in here, okay? So just remember, when it says applicant's name and you're filing as under a business, this is the business name. Don't get confused with that. Sign, title it, managing member, owner, so on. Have this form ready for them. And then the last form you want to have ready is right here, additional filing requirements. Okay, so I'm opening a new tab. Now, this form, this is basically your pro forma. So what you're going to do is you're going to come in here and you're going to put in all the months. Okay, so Jan, Feb, all the way down to December, like that. So January, February, March, April, all the way down, all 12 months. Then up here, you're going to do 2017. They want 3 years, if you have 3 years, 2018, 2019. If you have 2019, it's just 2019 month. What was your gross income in for 2019 January? Okay, and then they're going to say, well, what is it for January here, February, March? What they're actually trying to calculate is how did this. This is the part where they're trying to say how did it affect you. If your income went from 85,000 a month here, and then all of a sudden in February you started seeing it dip down to 65, and you got 85 last year, and this one is literally, let's say 35, obviously you got an issue. So this is really their performa, okay? Um, this page is optional. You don't need to fill it out. We didn't fill it out, so don't worry about that. All right. So that is basically it. Save these forms, have them ready. Now, what you could do if you wanted to, okay, just so here's the thing. Normally in our courses, when we're teaching people, when we're doing deal flow and you're trying to get deals, less is more in real estate. A lot of times when you're working deal flow, we always want the other side to negotiate back to you. You don't want to be saying too much. In this case, we want more is better, because we don't want them to have to follow up with us to get follow up, because the more people that have more information in place, they have everything ready to go. They're just going to call you and say, hey, yeah, we're going to give you this, and you're done. Okay, so we recommend just having these things ready because they're going to want these things. All right, so if you want to upload it, all right, uh, into here, you can do that if you want. Okay, so for example, if I wanted to upload this document. Okay, so let's just pretend I'm gonna, I don't know, let me just upload some random picture I have in my desktop. Okay, what you could do here, see when you upload the business form, okay, because there's one for business and then sole proprietor. By the way, sole proprietor, all you need is sole proprietor loan app. It's really straightforward. Don't do the damaged property thing like the other one. And you need the request for transcript, okay? Those are the only ones that you need. Oh, actually, I didn't even do that one. Let me actually talk about that real quick. Sorry. So request for I always forget this form. Uh, in here, again, business name, okay, and then EIN. All right. Sole proprietor is you and your social. They've already filled it out for you here. Okay. So you don't need to worry about that. Okay. Here's the part that you need to check with your tax accountant. Sole proprietor, you're probably gonna do a 1040. Okay. If you're an S corp, you're gonna do 1120S. If you filed S corp, if you're a partnership, I think you're gonna do a 1065. Let me actually check if it's a 1065. Yeah, partnership is 1065, and then if you're a corp, you're gonna do 1120. But obviously check with your accountant on what you filed with, okay? So they've already filled out everything. This is for so they can pull last year's 2018. See, they're gonna get 2018 taxes. Make sure you check this box here, sign it, title, date, and don't forget your phone number here. Okay? Sorry, I keep forgetting that form. Now, you can upload all the documents at once into this form uploader, and then in here, I would, so what we did is we put in here disaster relief loan, and then uh, confirmation number. This is the number that you are going to get once you do that very first form. Okay. Uh, and then that's what we did. Make sure you put your email address. Remind you, you're not going to get an update or a follow-up email or a confirmation email. You're not going to get that. This is literally just a Dropbox. Okay, so you could do this if you want. We have already done this. It just helps move the process along, and they're going to, match everything up. Hopefully. Geez, this is so much people. I don't know how they're going to do it, but whatever. But at least you got the information into them, so this is good. Okay, then you hit upload, and then you're all set. Now, that is pretty much it, people. So, uh, if you like this video, normally I'm not normally talking this fast. I spend a lot more time kind of talking about things. So, you know, normally that's what I'm doing. But obviously, I'm trying to get this video out to you very quickly. If you like this video, please follow us on Facebook. Um, and if you want to be ahead of the curve like our members were, consider becoming a member. Now, I say that and I don't give you an option to do that right now because we're we're updating our site. But if you want, follow us on Facebook and we'll let you know when the site is updated with new content. Or if you go to 100unitclub.com, you'll see that there's an email sign up. You can sign up that way as well. Um, and so those are your two options to stay connected, let you know when, hey, you get signed up and things like that. Uh, but okay, so this act, just so you know, what they call it, I think it's called the CARE Act. Okay, this act is more than just this stimulus that you're dealing with, this 10K. It so many benefits actually come from this. For example, there's a benefit for retirement accounts. If you have a retirement account that has money into it and you've thought about maybe pulling from that account before, all right, and you realize when you try to pull from it, there's a pretty big fine for pulling early fees, or you get feed almost 20-30%, sometimes I think even more. I've not done it, so I don't know, but I know it's a big fee. Right now, you can actually pull that money out up to $100,000 and without penalty. Okay, there's some other stipulations with it, but you got to think about that for a minute. You can pull out your 401k without penalty right now and use that money. And so when we tell our members right now, when we're raising money to do deals, you think about the fact that if we had 100 of our members pull out that money, 100 grand, you do the math on that, we're easily buying 100 to 200 units, maybe even 300 units. And especially when you think about what the market's going to be in the next 3 to 6 months, the opportunities that might present themselves, whether multifamily, mixed use deals, or whichever, we're probably going to be sitting really good positioning in these deals. And especially, let's say if it's a value add deal, we're talking about the ability to be able to pay back our investors in 3 years. And you're talking about making 15 to 20% on that return because it's people still have to pay rents. Now, the structure might be changing over the next 6 to 8 months, but it's going to get back to normal. So, something to really consider. Um, but there's a ton of information like this that we share with our members, and we hope that you share this with your friends and family. Those, especially those that you know are having a hard time right now, this might be a shining light for them. Hopefully they get the grant. Like I said, we were in the first thousands of people to get the application in, and it's already currently up to 50,000. And mind you, there's a limitation on this. So, we really encourage you to get out there and get this done. All right. So, anyways, thank you for watching. Please follow us. We'd love to interact with you. We'd love to get you a part of the 100 Unit Club investment fund and learn more about it. And these are things we're going to start doing more over the next. You'll start seeing things over here over the next week or two with new ways to access. So be safe and thank you.